can avoid this one since it's depreciated and should most probably get removed in the future. So tile map layers is something that you can use to create your levels using tiles. And as you can see, the moment I added this, a new panel appeared down here. But to paint tiles we need something, we need actual tiles to be displayed here, and here it tells us what we are missing. We are missing a tile set resource, and here we can see that there is a tile set option that we can actually put in, but we don't have a tile set. So we can right click here and create a new resource. If we search for tile set, then we see that we get a tile set resource. Let's create it, save it wherever you want with whatever name you want, and this is new tile set dot tress being the, what do you call it, the text resource file. Let's go to tile set. Now we have a tile set here and a tile set panel, but the tile set itself, even if we put it in the tile map layer, let's drag and drop, and now the message we get is this has no tile source configured. Go to the tile set bottom panel to add one. So we can go here, and the issue is that we don't have anything. As you can see, it gives us all the necessary information here. There is no tile set source selected. We can create a new one by dragging and dropping a tile set texture here. I'm just gonna use the same one that Bracky's used in his video because, well, it's just the first one that came to mind. Let's just drag and drop something here so that there is something in our tile set. Now we can click on yes, and it will automatically create the necessary tiles for us. But just to see the process in action, let's click on no. Now pay attention to the fact that we are in the setup mode. I am zooming in via scroll wheel here. Now let's go up here and click here. Now this has been added as a tile texture for us. I can click and drag like this, and all these are now available for me to use in my tile set. Right click and I can delete it. Middle mouse button, which is a scroll wheel, press and move it around, and I can pan, scroll out, I can zoom out, all that stuff. So well, that's for the most basic of the basics. Let's click on tile map. As you can see, it's here. There's a weird grid pattern displayed here. You can enable or disable it via here. Now let's reduce it a bit. Well, let's select the tile that we want to paint, and as you can see, we are essentially painting it here as per our convenience. But you have to make sure of two things. One, that this option is selected, select mode, and that this paint tool is selected. The shortcut is D. Alternate, if you want to erase something, eraser tool is E. You can click on erase and you can start erasing all this. If you want to use the bucket tool, then use that. I'm currently in eraser mode, my bad. Let's do this. Okay, on paint tool, let's select this, and my system is acting up a, okay, yeah, now it should be fine. I was not paying enough attention, my bad. But I'm in paint tool now, and this is the let's just say we have what do you call it, tiles selected, and we have got some stuff basically done here. As you can see, this is another fast way through which we can add tiles. But what is happening to the tiles that are below the tiles that are above the ones that I painted? Any tile that is repainted over basically gets replaced. So only the top tile remains, the bottom tile does not remain. Now what else are we supposed to basically do here? Let's see, where did it go? tile set here. Yeah, right. So let's go back to the tile set by double clicking here. And while this is a method to create a level using tile painting, there is something called terrain sets here, where we basically define a set of the kind of terrain configuration that we want. There are three options. You will understand it in a minute, but let's select one of the three options. Since it's a simple tile set, so let's just go with match sides, and that is the setting that is applied to every terrain within this terrain set. We add an element, we provide a name that is suitable for us, we provide a color that we will use. This color has nothing to do with the actual gameplay itself, it's just for our use, so don't worry about it. Now we want to paint the terrain, so we first select a property. So we can select the terrains property, and we can select the terrain set that we want, and from that terrain set we select the terrain that we want. Now we select all the nodes which we want to paint over. You can also just click and drag, blah blah blah, etc., all that stuff. You get the idea. Now is the more interesting part here. Let's see. You can see these various shapes. Now for the middle part, there might be cases where you do not click on the middle part, but at least I am not aware. I don't have any such cases in mind, so I cannot say anything about that. But what exactly are we doing here anyways? So here is the thing. We are defining the rules in which these tiles should be automatically painted. Whoops, sorry about that. So what does that mean? Let's say this tile, I clicked here. So the current rule is that if there is a tile at the bottom, at the north south side, at the south side, but not in these three sides, then the tile will automatically be replaced by this. For this tile, the rule is that if there is a tile at the north and east side, then this is the tile that will automatically replace that tile. For this tile, since these two are effectively, no, they are a tad bit different, my bad. So for this tile, the rule is that north and west side, and so on and so forth. For this tile, the rule is that there should be a tile on all four sides. If there are tiles on all four sides, then that tile will automatically be replaced by this tile. Now what if there are tiles that have the same rules, such as this one and this one? In that case, another thing we can do is we can paint another property called probability. Currently every tile has a probability of 1, so let us add here, let us make this probability, I don't know, 5, and let's say for this one, actually let's make that 20. Click 20. So what that means is that if there is a situation where both of these tiles can be placed, then 20 out of 25 times this blue tile thingy will be placed, and 5 out of 25 times this tile will be placed. And how exactly does this work? Well, I hope that it will load fast enough for me to be able to show you. Oh, it did. When I was trying it in the morning, it was not. But rather, the idea is that you go to tile map, you can go to your terrain, make sure this option is selected. Now I want you to pay attention to how the tiles are automatically adjusted here. Currently these, as you can see, even as I am painting, these tiles with their various probabilities, and now this is not the best paint obviously, but the idea remains extremely simple, that and essentially the rules that we have defined, oh right, there should be right, the idea remains essentially simple, which is that the rules that we have defined will essentially dictate what tile gets automatically placed as our tile configuration changes. Now there are some things about which obviously I don't know myself, but what such as what happens if there are no tiles that we have placed. I Based on what I'm seeing, it seems like there is a probability factor to even those tiles for which we have not defined any configuration, but but overall idea is just essentially just that you define these rules and you can use them to uh, prototype your levels at an extremely fast pace. And that is for something like match sides. For something like match corners, if you go to tile set and let's say go to terrain, then you will see you have a greater degree of control here. It's not just the north, south, east and west side, but the four corners as well. And since I was just showing an example, so it's a pretty badly designed set, but you overall get the idea, I believe, of how you can paint at a pretty fast speed using this for a 2D game such as a platformer or a I don't know, a top down shooter, something like that. Anywhere where your tile set can have such established rules such as this tile should be placed only when there are tiles around it or in this direction, etc., etc., then you can essentially use this feature called auto tiling to design your levels at a fast pace. And you can also use the probability feature to essentially give it some bit of randomness if you want. That's pretty much it for tile set and auto tiling, as at least